Now this is the driving video for the PVDs. So we've already loaded our package car either at the building like we are sitting here, or at a trailer at a meet point that you met other PVDs. So first of all, you want to put in your GPS to your first stop according to your itinerary, and then we're going to start up the car. You've already done your pre-trip, so let's go ahead and proceed. The one thing that you want to make sure that you do is put your seatbelt on first, so as we have done here. And you're checking your gauges again, making sure you have plenty of fuel. You don't want to get out there and actually run out. The other thing is, don't store anything on your dash. Okay, so don't put any packages up here like this or like this where it blocks your view, and it could be a distraction, so then you'll end up having a crash. So, all right, let's go ahead and put it in drive, and then we're gonna go ahead and proceed to our first stop. So as he's driving, he's aiming high and steering. It's gonna center him in the lane of traffic. He's gonna get the big picture by looking at these cars here on the right and make sure none of them are occupied in this parking lot. He just honked the horn just in case some of them are occupied, and he can get their attention so they don't back out on him. So he's going to have a good eye lead time, which is where his eyes are gonna be focused up ahead, usually 8 to 12 seconds. So make sure that we clear all of our intersections. We're going to approach and make a complete stop. We're going to look left, right, left, and proceed through the intersection, checking in his mirror, making sure he knows what's behind him. So as you've seen, he did use his signal. He communicates in traffic, making sure that everybody around him knows what's going on. Comes to a complete stop, checks left, right, left, makes his turn, and he follows up with a mirror. We check our mirrors to make sure that, we know what's going on behind us. In case somebody turns right behind us, we might have to stop abruptly to the very first stop that we have on a driveway here. So we have to communicate that to somebody behind us so they don't rear end us. He's checking traffic. On the left, he has the intersection. Car may enter his, make sure he maintains eye contact with that person so they don't pull out in front of us. He's following the speed. He has a good eye lead time up ahead. So we say get the big picture. That way you know what's in your picture. Okay, usually building line to building line, up at least a half a mile or a mile up ahead of you as far as you can see. That way everything in your picture, it's either going to move or it's not. That we call that objects or ground. So things that move, cars, pedestrians, motorists, cyclists. Ground is things that don't move, like a sign, tree limb, post. It's something that's stationary. So now we got a four-way stop. He comes to a complete stop, and he's checking around, doing the left, right, left, clearing his intersection, maintains that eye contact with this driver approaching, making sure they're going to stop. A lot of people don't. And we proceed through, so we got a good eye lead time up to where that truck's going around the corner. Checking all the intersections to the right and to the left, if any. Maintaining our speed. We periodically glance at our GPS to make sure that we're on the right path. Don't become fixated on it, because then it becomes a distraction for your driving. All right, as you can see above, we're going to approach a red light. So he's checking both sides, making sure nobody pulls out in front of him. Now, if that light was green, we would call that a stale green light. That's one that we didn't see change. And then we would have to have a pointed decision on the road whether or not we were going to proceed through it or actually be able to stop if it was to change. So since ours is red, we're actually making a right turn. So it's got a signal. We keep a good space behind the car in front of us and make sure that they completely take off before we start. We've had several instances where we think the person has left, we're looking to the left, and we start up and they didn't actually leave, and we run into the back end of them. So that's not good. So make sure that you follow the proper method there. establish the eye contact on the right side with the person pulled over there. That's excellent. Now he's anticipating the car on the left pulling out. So he's going to check the right side, verify that they're going to pull out in front of him, and he changes lanes, makes a good decision there, and he got that eye contact with that person. So always anticipate someone doing something that you think about, and usually if it's wrong, most likely they're going to do it. So that's becoming a really good defensive driver. So we expect the unexpected, because it usually happens. So here is a stale green light. So we have a point of decision, which would be about now. We could have went through the light whether or not it changed, and we're making a left, and he checks his mirror. So proceeding forward. All right, so as you approach your stop, you're going to be checking the addresses on the building and make sure that you are approaching the right side of the road. And here's our stop right here. So he checks and makes sure he turns when it's clear. He verifies his address on the building. And then he finds a good parking place where nobody can hit you. In this instance, he's going to choose the back. Typically, we try to avoid backing, but if it's in a parking lot like this, you want to make sure that you do park in a safe spot. So he's using his horn to communicate his back. He backs just far enough to get off the road so he can make his delivery. So that's some of the driving points, as you've seen. We'll follow up with another video for our delivery.